It goes by many names. The Leeds Devil. And actually, I think that's pretty much it. But it's most commonly known as the Jersey Devil, a creature that I fully believe that exists. Otherwise, we wouldn't have the Guido Brigade known as the Jersey Shore. This is another one of those games that was overlooked and never really given a chance to shine like Punky Skunk. But, like Punky Skunk, is it an underrated gem? I just made a Guido joke. It should be pretty self-explanatory.
The game opens with a fully animated intro, which was pretty common for PlayStation games. All the developers wanted to use that new technology and for better FMV clips. So that's what Snooki's baby is going to look like.
And isn't it the ugliest baby you've ever seen? I swear they found it in a dumpster where it belongs. It's like this game is foretelling the future.
The gameplay is very close to Crash Bandicoot, just in a full 3D roaming type of game. And I use that term very loosely, and I'll explain that in a bit.
Alright, I know that there's going to be some jackass out there that's going to correct me and say that Crash Bandicoot is a 3D game. Well, yes, it has 3D graphics, but technically it's on a 2D plane. The camera's just positioned behind Crash instead of to the side of him.
Not only does this game rip off Crash's gameplay, but it steals almost the whole concept. It steals the idea of crates being everywhere, and it even steals the sound that it makes when the crates are broken. And speaking of sound, it steals the spinning attack sound that Crash makes when he attacks. It steals the idea of an evil doctor. While this idea has been used before, the two doctors look the same. Just look at them. Here's Cortex, and here's Narf. You collect spinning pumpkins as opposed to spinning mangoes, and both are sprite-based, not 3D geometry. And the areas have a hub world where you enter the levels, although the hub worlds are vastly different. Jersey Devil has full 3D roaming hubs, and this is the only part of the game that is a 3D roamer. And Crash has a more simplistic level select-like hub.
The focus of the game is to stop Dr. Narf's plan of whatever, but it just involves mutant vegetables.
You have to collect KNARF tokens to unlock the doors to enter the levels, and you even have to collect them in the levels themselves to unlock doors just to continue. Graphically, it's better than Croc, but it's not as good as Crash Bandicoot. In Crash, the pixels on the textures aren't as evident as they are in Jersey Devil. The controls are basic, yet pretty stupid. X jumps and circle ducks. Square attacks, and it's a really feeble punch. But if you jump and attack, you'll see another Crash ripoff, a spinning attack. The square button will also throw small objects. Triangle picks things up or allows you to move large objects. And it will also allow you to glide after you jump. Having to press a different button after you jump to glide is a Bubsy mechanic. But the way gliding works is retarded at best. If you're running and then jump, you keep the momentum. But if you jump then glide, you'll stop in midair, open your wings, and then slowly glide forward, losing all of that momentum.
Even Bubsy got gliding remotely correct, and that's saying something.
L1 and R1 will hide and show the heads-up display, and L2 and R2 will rotate the camera, and the camera rotates pretty slowly and it could be faster. In addition to collecting pumpkins, you could collect nitro boxes. If you collect every nitro box in the level, you get a nitro bottle, which will increase the Jersey Devil's power. And you're going to need all the nitro you can get, because the Jersey Devil is the weakest protagonist I have ever seen. Hitting anything is the equivalent of flicking a brick wall with your finger. You're just not going to get anywhere. Unless you're fucking Superman, which is a game I'm considering playing instead of this.
Which leads me to the terrible combat. It's just a war of attrition, you trading blows with your enemy until one of you dies.
Some enemies die in 1 or 2 hits in the first area, but for the most part, a hit and run technique works. But in the second area, you'll have these onion motherfuckers who run all over the place and are impossible to hit, and they take a lot of hits to take down. And now we make our way to the levels. There's 6 areas, each with 2 levels, and each level is broken up into different sections. The levels may seem like they're open and you can go anywhere you want, but in fact, you're just on a linear path. And the names of the levels try to be a pun or play on words like how Bubsy used to do it. While this isn't uncommon for cartoon-styled games, Bubsy is just really famous for doing it and doing it really badly. While the enemies may seem cheap, they don't do that much damage to you and they're pretty easy to avoid. But this game has plenty of pitfalls, so you'll mostly be falling into those for a different number of reasons. Most of them having to do with the bad depth perception.
Yeah, lots of games in the PlayStation days had issues with perception, and I know that I bring it up a lot, but really back then, it was just something that you got used to.
But you'll misjudge a jump and fall, or you'll go to attack an enemy and get hit because you attacked too early, or you go to glide to the next platform and realize that you opened your wings a second too late, and you'll rage because the Jersey Devil doesn't have the ability to grab ledges.
Why? I don't know. I guess his hands just stop working in midair.
Also, you have to be very careful around the edges of platforms, because he will automatically jump off the ledge. And it's not even a full jump, it's just a small hop, and you'll more than likely die. But the game is pretty generous with extra lives, pretty much just throwing them at you, so there's nothing really to worry about, so I guess that's a point in this game's favor.
And that's all there really is to this game. Unfortunately, it's just not that special. And while I would love to give it a bargain bin fodder rating, I simply can't do that. This game just has too many issues to ignore, so it gets a rating of tolerable. You know, I do realize I made a lot of Bubsy references in this review. It's like that series is just haunting me, and I've reviewed everything Bubsy except for the cartoon. Nah. Oh God, no.